Hey, everybody, welcome back to Kicking in the Second Half, Kish YZ. We have a PPF episode for y'all again, and not just a typical PPF. This is going to be our first tribute PPF. We're covering Lamarcus Aldridge. I guess we're covering his career in totality. Just a brief summary due to the fact that he retired this year. You know, he joined with the Brooklyn Nets, and things just didn't work out. He had some health complications, so shout out to him and wish him well in his journey through the rest of his basketball endeavors if he chooses to do anything else outside of physically playing the sport. But once again, I am D, and I'm back again with Hugh. Say what up, Hugh.
Yo, what's going on?
And before we get into this, I would like to thank everybody who had subscribed by May 1st. I did do the donation. We had 35 subscribers on May 1st, so I donated $35 to the Limb Loss Awareness Foundation at limbsforlife.org. So much appreciated. And yeah, if you're watching this video, give us a thumbs up. And if you're familiar with our channel, we'd like for you to subscribe. And if you're not familiar, please subscribe so you can get familiar with our content and view our other PPF videos, as well as our debates, podcasts, and things that we're doing with shoes as far as reviews and unboxings as well. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter under KishYZ, KISH_YZ, and check out our podcast on Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Spotify, and Anchor.fm under KishYZ. Hugh, like I said, we're covering Lamarcus Aldridge. So, like I said, I gave a brief summary. If people aren't too familiar, he retired this season after leaving the Spurs in the buyout market and then getting on a contract, a veteran minimums contract maybe, to go to the Brooklyn Nets to, I guess, potentially win a championship there, seeing that they were heavy favorites in the East and throughout the whole league as well. But go ahead and give us the backstory. Give us a spill on Lamarcus Aldridge.
Yeah, so Lamarcus Aldridge, he went to the University of Texas. He did 2 seasons there from 2004 to 2006. When I was doing my research, I actually was reading about him. I saw something interesting. It said that he declared for the draft right out of high school he wasn't going to go to college, and then Shaquille O'Neal actually gave him personal advice, telling him that he should go to college at least for a little bit. So that changed his mind, and that helped him decide to go to college. So he went to University of Texas, like I said, from 2004 to 2006 through his sophomore year. In 2006, he declared for the NBA draft, where he went second overall to the Chicago Bulls. His rights were traded to Portland shortly after that. I'm not 100% sure if it was draft night. I think it probably was, but it just said shortly after, so I'm assuming. But yeah, he played for Portland for a bunch of his career. On July 9th, 2015, he signed a 4-year, $80 million contract with the Spurs. So I mean, he played from 2006 all the way up until 2015 with Portland. So a long tenure there. So like I said, in 2015, he signed in free agency with the Spurs. He played with the Spurs for 6 seasons until this year, where March 25th, he agreed to a contract buyout agreement with the Spurs. I don't know if y'all watch basketball or not, or you're just watching this to learn about them, but the Spurs are kind of going younger, and what he does on the court, it wasn't really fitting with what the Spurs are trying to do, what Popovich is trying to do there. So he kind of sat for a couple months maybe while they tried to trade him. No one would trade him, so they reached a contract buyout. So 3 days later, March 28th, he actually signed with the Nets. A stacked team, probably going there to try to win a chip. And only played a handful of games with him this year before he had an irregular heartbeat, and it forced him to retire. Which is probably smart for him to do. But yeah, so I mean, unfortunate, for the Spurs, or not for the Spurs, for the Nets and himself. Obviously, that's not how you want to go out like that. But I mean, yeah, some of his accolades. He 2007, he made the NBA All Rookie team. He's a 3-time All NBA third team player from 2011, 2014, and 2016. He's a 2-time All NBA second team, 2015 and 2018. And he's a 7-time NBA All-Star, 2012 through 2016, and then again in 2018 and 2019. And then I just got his career statistics. I know he sat a lot this year and stuff like that, so I just wanted to go with career when I got these. But for his career, he averaged about 19.5 points a game. He shot 49% from the field and 32% from 3-point. line. He averaged about 8 rebounds a game, 2 assists a game, about close to a steal, a little less than a steal, and a little over a block a game. So, you know, just all around good player in my opinion.
Yeah, he's all around good player, and like you touch on a few things there, where obviously where he was drafted and then traded to Portland, and with winning some of those rookie honors, he actually played with the Rookie of the Year that year. They were both in the same team. Brandon Roy, for the Gen Zs out there, you might not be too familiar with Brandon Roy, but he was a heck of a baller, bro. Like this could have been like Dame before Dame in a way, as far as the history of Portland Trailblazers. Like
What
his
happened to him?
injuries. I can't remember specifically. I think things with his knees. He even tried to make a comeback,
I'd never
but
heard of him.
it didn't work out. Oh, the dude was a ball, like within his short span of his career, because he had to retire early. The first time he retired, I think, was in 2011. So like a whole season before Dame would have been drafted. Dame was drafted in 2012. So he retired at the end of 2011. So he came in the league in 2006, and 2011 was already like a 3-time All-Star at that point, and he was a Rookie of the Year. And his first game, I think he dropped 20 points. But yeah, not to make this a PPF on Brandon Roy, but yeah, Lamarcus Aldridge played with him. And then obviously during that tenure of his career at Portland, he also played with Damian Lillard for 3 seasons before he left to go to the San Antonio Spurs. So he's played with some great teammates. And then obviously being with the Spurs, he's played with DeMar DeRozan the last several seasons, since DeMar's been there over the course of the last 2.5 seasons. So that's, he's had some talent around him, and unfortunately he hadn't come up with the chip. And yeah, it looked like obviously he was trying to go to the Nets and potentially like be that big guy as far as a low post scoring threat and a bigger body out there when it comes to defending some of the playoff teams where you might have to go against like a Joel Embiid type of guy, or just the bigger teams of the Milwaukee Bucks. Just different lineups like that. I mean, I'm sure he would have contributed, like you said. The stats for this season isn't all that appealing compared to the rest of his career, but on a decent team like that, I mean, being a 4th or 5th option, I mean, that's would have been a great fit for him pretty easily. Outside of health problems, he would have just pretty much fit in and did what he needed to do, and that would have been enough as far as him filling the role that they would have needed him to fill. And yeah, with the Spurs, and just to backtrack, when he went to the Spurs, also he had the opportunity of playing with Tim Duncan before DeMar DeRozan came. So, that's a Hall of Fame player right there. And in my opinion, he was supposed to have been that next level, not next level, but the new guy, the replacement for Tim Duncan. Like Tim Duncan came into the league, kind of was a sidekick to Dave Robinson, and then took over as the head guy. And I think, in my opinion, this was kind of sort of supposed to be the same type of format. Like Tim Duncan's playing with them a little bit, but he's passing down, the law of the land in San Antonio. And this is, how you lead the team and be a leader. And this is what you should expect from the guys. And, this is a franchise that has five championships, and we're wanting you to contribute more to that. And you're playing with the Hall of Fame coach and Greg Popovich. But like I said, things didn't shake up the way that they should have there for his career in San Antonio. And yeah, maybe they needed some other things, other assets added to the team to help them get stronger pushes. But with him being there, I think just the clash of his game and what Greg Popovich was kind of wanting to do early on with his game, they clash. And then, like you said, towards the end of this career there with the San Antonio Spurs, they wanted to run the small ball and be quicker and shoot more threes, and that didn't work with his game either. So as an end result, yeah, he was bought out and signed with the Brooklyn Nets. But yeah, this is a PPF, Hugh. So I know it's kind of tough, but we just covered the past and basically the present of this season. And obviously he is retired. What is his future? You have any opinions about that?
I have no idea. I mean, if
Okay,
he's
it's
having
okay
health
if you don't.
scares and stuff, I probably if he had health scares and stuff, I probably wouldn't do nothing too crazy. I'm maybe an announcer or something, ESPN or NBA, maybe analyst, maybe something like that. I mean, if that, if he's still passionate with it.
Yeah, I had mentioned on our PTO episode with cousin Fred about Orlando, just a potential thing of maybe he can go somewhere and be a fill-in as far as a skills training type of coach, where they do like player development by bringing in retired players that were specialized in certain abilities. And I could see him maybe wanting to do that. Maybe even with the Portland organization, just to touch on Portland, Damian Lillard, basically right after the announcement of his retirement, he wanted the Blazers to consider as an organization to retire Lamarcus's jersey for that franchise. I think he wore number 12 there as well. And, that shows a lot of respect by Dame to Lamarcus, a guy that he formerly played with. I'm sure it would have been also a great story if he could have came back and played with them. But, just to show the respect that, hey, this guy did a lot for the franchise. And even while I was here, we played together, I respect him, and, we should honor what he's done in the league. But going past that, I'm not sure, in my opinion, if he's done enough to be a Hall of Fame candidate. Anything stand out to you?
Nah, yeah, I probably got to agree with that. I mean, I think he could possibly be discussed, but I don't really see any way that he'd become a Hall of Famer.
Let me just throw this what if at you. If he, obviously contributed to the Nets this season and they would go on to win the championship, would that affect his chances at all of making the Hall of Fame?
I mean, yeah, I think it would help, but I still, with one chip with Brooklyn going there for half the season, not being like the fourth option, I still wouldn't consider him a Hall of Famer even after that.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty much on the same page with you. So yeah, just to wrap this up, a great player, a respectable player in the league, and one of these players that probably won't get talked about, down the road, especially with your generation, who, as far as, who was that guy? Do you remember him doing this, doing that? He was just a great contributor, and, maybe he peaked in his prime early in his career, mostly with the Blazers, and then early maybe and with the Spurs. But like I said, it was just so much headbutting there that I don't think we really got to see his full potential with what he could have contributed to the Spurs. So yeah, once again, this is a PPF tribute to Lamarcus Aldridge. So, we wish him well with whatever he does choose to pursue. Yeah, maybe we'll see him on the sidelines coaching, or maybe we'll see him with some players trying to develop their post games. He had a nasty mid-range pull up off the post jumper, right there on the baseline, basically just turn around and shoot it in. That thing was definitely legit. You can bank money on that all the time, every day, all day. So Hugh, last words?
Shout out Lamarcus, man. I mean, I know you didn't want to go out like that, but I mean, you just got put, you're 35, you're getting up there in age, and I think he probably made a smart move for his long-term health and for his family and all that. So shout out Lamarcus, man.
Yeah, thank you. And shout out to our 35th subscriber. We appreciate the sub. I think you subscribed to our channel May 1st. So that was pretty cool, because that gave us 35 and gave me an extra donation towards that foundation I mentioned earlier. But yeah, once again, thanks for kicking in the second half, Kish YZ. Check out our podcast on anchor.fm as well as Spotify under Kish YZ, and obviously here on YouTube for all of our videos on all our content that we do. You can find it here on YouTube under Kish YZ. Thank you, everybody. Peace and love.